I'm sorry. I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was
Super Viernes.
but for me, it was
Viernes normal.
Bati-Bati Book Club.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, those who lie betwixt or beyond, to yet another episode of the Bati-Bati Book Club. I'm your host, the Joaquin Buckley of Talking Smugly, Squill, joined as always by Walk and a special guest this episode. It is the mind behind Grappleholics, Angel. How you doing, guys?
CZ fucking W! Hi! How are we doing today, you guys?
Fine, good. Even.
That's awesome.
We're finally recording this after
I
weeks of
know!
attempts.
I embarrassed myself on the Sweet Chinwag podcast. I thought we were going to have like a whole week. Or
Yeah.
we were going to do something that week, but people die.
Mhm.
That
People
happens.
Mostly
of
me.
sickness. You get down with the sickness.
illness. I have a great radio voice.
Yeah,
This
you're doing
sounds
great, buddy.
perfect. Very lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the second guest on the show?
Yes, you're the second guest.
Ooh.
Third
Yeah.
guest episode because Sam has been on twice.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When you first asked me, it was only after the first time Sam has been on.
Yeah.
And I thought it was because Sam was British. You guys did Nigel McGuinness, and I'm Mexican, so you chose me for the Blue Panther episode.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
It's because you like Blue Panther, I swear.
I do also like Blue Panther very much, so it's a very fitting episode.
But then we had Sam
we
on
chose
for
him
the,
because he was. Oh.
then we had
Are we
Sam
sure?
for the then we had Sam for the Bozrutan episode, and he's
And he's not
Dutch.
Dutch.
So
He's not.
there we
Dutch.
go.
Missed
Allegedly.
opportunity.
Not a racist podcast.
Wink.
No, missed it by one episode.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll have 4 pillars on for the Colt Cabana podcast, and there'll be no
Renowned lover of Colt Cabana.
yeah
4 Pillars of Hell.
no reason for that.
The Bati-Bati profiling podcast.
Yeah,
As God intended. One of them.
but as we said, or sort of slipped there, the focus of this episode is on none other than Blue Panther.
Gato Azul.
Angel, do you want to describe why you love Blue Panther before we go into this?
He's an old man. Most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
he's an old man that just, lies on the mat for 20 minutes. And that's what I want in pro wrestling.
He's also, once he gets the mask off, he's like hideously ugly, but just deeply endearing.
Oh my!
He looks-
it is.
He looks like all of my uncles, so I feel like that's mean to say. No, during especially one of these matches where he comes out with the hat, the cowboy hat, and the music playing in the background, I'm like, he's one Corona Light away from being a bunch of people that I know.
He has a Squidward-esque face.
Well, yeah, there's a reason we talked about when we were doing the Black Terry episode. We called one of the matches like the Tio Corner. That it was that's very much like a genre of lucha. Once you get some like 40-year-old dudes doing a little mat work / brawling.
Mostly brawling because their knees can't handle the rolling around.
But Panther, he does both and really well.
He does both quite well. Not to tip our hand immediately.
If I remember correctly, Walk, I think you said you didn't like old man grappling in the Black Terry episode.
Oh God. Okay.
Has your opinion changed?
No.
Oh, no.
It's not. Generally, it's not the genre of old man grappling. Well, in general, I don't like it because it's way too slow. But Blue Panther does a good job. There are exceptions to rules. Um, speaking of Blue Panther, not as an old man though. How about our first match be Blue Panther versus Atlantis?
That's one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here we are from 1991.
And here we are with some sweet training montage and some epic music.
I believe I spotted some cameos.
Oh yeah,
I think I saw the original Stuka on here training it with him.
I thought I saw him as well.
Yeah,
That's
And
pretty
then
cool.
obviously we had El Dandy and was it El Solitario as the cornerman?
I believe so.
Based.
Dandy is always welcome.
Of course.
Always one of the best. Who are you to doubt El Dandy?
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
The training montage, that video package is fucking awesome.
It's so sweet.
Of them, like, it's great, like, the implication that, like, lucha is something you can, like, you do, like, drills for or whatever to, you know, outsmart your opponent.
You know,
I
I'm
love
doing
that
5
idea.
reps of suicidas every morning.
Yeah.
Spamming Tope con Hilos.
Oh hell yeah! And I'm dapping up Don West after every one of them.
Just thinking about, like, yeah, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna see it coming.
If I do enough Cazadoras,
We'll get to more suicidas later.
Ooh.
But after the sweet training montage, during a walkout, no music for the walkout for Atlantis. In mid-entrance, he gets interviewed from the crowd.
Yeah.
I assume that's just a luchaism.
I've seen that before.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't a one-off thing.
No.
Cool.
But it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
Yeah. The Blue Panther mask is pretty sweet. I like it. I like the little white trim. I like the little kitty mask.
I love how simple it is.
It is very simple.
Literally just somebody drew like a very simple drawing of a cat and they just put it on a mask. There's like no intricacies to it at all.
And I fucked with that.
I love it.
It's really endearing because I'm used to seeing, like, we're very familiar, like, with the tiger mask, which is, you know, elaborate and, you know, actually looks like a tiger, versus this is just a little kitty.
This is a little kitty cat.
It's just a little guy, a little gato.
Ooh.
Gatito.
Well, Spanish. Ooh, double Spanish. This is a fun and spicy episode.
So as we get there, I just want to say one of my favorite things about the corners is I love wearing your lucha mask with street clothes. Is one of my favorite lucha-isms.
I can't lie. It's kind of a sweet look.
It's my favorite trope. Like even like especially like Saltario has like this. Does he have like a tracksuit on or something? I don't know if he does, but I definitely saw it in like the training montage of just like regular street clothes, or even like, you know, Santo would do the suit thing, and it's just like never.
Santo was dripped out every time. I've never seen a picture of that dude that doesn't look sweet.
Drip King.
And then
absolutely.
El Dandy has like a wife beater on, like a wife beater and like sweats, and then he's got the still got the mask, of course.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so we enter. The match begins. It's going to be, you know, we got the Atlantis is just like one of the perfect technicos. So Panther is gonna have to be a dick here.
Yeah, somebody has to play mild heel.
Somebody has to beat this kid up,
or else there's no heat. Whatever that means.
Yeah, I just love the way, sorry. I just love the way that Panther like almost immediately decides that his only option in this match is to just try to suffocate Atlantis on the mat. It's like, if I let this dude like stand up and get offense for a single second, he's gonna beat the shit out of me, and then he does.
He does. He hits me with
really
the Atlantis backbreaker.
What I think is interesting about Blue Panther's lucha grappling is he'll do a few things that almost look shooty while still doing the, you know, the lucha style of his sort of crazy frenetic stuff. Like he'll do some stuff that looks almost like amateur wrestling, and it just makes him look distinct.
It does. Yeah, it's just like the way that he like goes for stuff. There's like he's just messy. He's just like, you can tell like when he falls down, he's not like planning it out or doing it like effectively. Like I think I saw him go for like a single leg in this match, and he just like plops his fat ass straight to the mat.
Absolutely. It's a little jarring sometimes when I see like, oh my god, that dude's about to break his arm. Oh, he's going for a gory special backpack where he's gonna walk around the whole ring.
The cop killer.
Every time he does that, I'm just like, okay, he's gonna drop him on his head eventually, right?
I've seen him actually do, not on his head, but like do that into an actual cop killer before. So I was
crazy.
Like, ooh, but no, in this match, yeah, the back work, I mean, that's like getting a little far ahead of ourselves, but the back work that Panther does to Atlantis in this match I just love the way Atlantis sold that.
Absolutely.
In the early going, however, I was going to say it's marked by a lot of legwork by Atlantis, who starts bullying the shit out of Panther in the early going before Blue Panther takes over. Because there's a great little moment after like the initial lockup, and then they go around where Atlantis sort of tosses him out of the lockup, and you're talking about how Panther falls. And Panther like stumbles and like has to circle out to sort of like walk it off on his leg. It's such a great little moment.
Yeah.
Noting Panther selling ice, there was an arm drag that Atlantis did. And like Blue Panther just starts flare flopping afterwards.
Yes.
It's pretty sweet. I love how like in Lucha, like these moves are all being sold to death, even if it's like an arm drag. They're like, oh shit, that actually really hurt.
Well, it's the way that arm drag was what I was talking about. What I love about it is I'm just looping it as I'm watching it here. But what's genius about it to me is that like he sells the leg that he like planted on as he was trying to recover from the arm drag, as if like landing on it, trying to brace himself is what hurt him.
Yeah.
It's like a really like naturalistic, like quote unquote realistic idea in how you're selling it, but it's to, an arm drag.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
Gives everything a nice weightiness.
Yeah, I like how in Lucha Libre, like, none of this is real. Like, some of the techniques they use kind of feels like, but I love how even though it's such like a fantastical form of like offense and the submissions and stuff they use, the way that they sell it always hooks you in. It always gives it legitimacy. It's like it like maybe this cop killer submission would be more powerful than just going for an arm bar in this universe, at least.
It's almost to the point where I think I mentioned in the Black Terry episode, there's a level of like quote consensuality, like visually, that it makes it look bad. I think Lucha is the best at making it look as consensual as possible whilst making it look good, like the selling and stuff like that. Like everything looks good on both sides of the equation. There's not really like that sort of like ego that is in some American wrestling where they will just like no sell something or something like that. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot more willingness to make yourself look the fool, especially Rudo's. To just make yourself look like, and even like the Technicos here too, like the second fall of this match is like literally like 2 or 3 moves. It's like Panther hitting the Welcome to Chicago on Atlantis and just stretching his back out, and it's like that's it. It's over.
That's real. During the match, I had noted that there was a cattle mutilation the long way with a head scissors. I don't know how to describe it.
Ooh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Where he's holding out the arms like motorcycle bars. It's like that one meme of how bikers eat spaghetti, but he did it with his arms. How bikers do the cattle mutilation. That was pretty sweet. Then there's a test of strength, which is the best submission in all of pro wrestling.
I wrote that down because I knew you would say it. A Greco-Roman knuckle lock.
And you know what? Statistically, I've seen more good tests of strength than I've seen bad. Now, I guess. This match does a very good job of touching on the test of strength.
It's a
Um,
good wrestling convention. I, for one, am all for it.
but I've seen a couple really bad ones by one individual.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
That's fair. Just don't
Yeah.
watch Hulk Hogan.
I don't. I haven't seen a Hulk Hogan match in like 9 months.
Oh no.
I don't know. I only started this fandom like 9 months ago.
Something I also want to note is that Blue Panther, Angel and I have talked about this, but Blue Panther, even when he's like being a dick, like he's not like Rudo in this match, but even when he is, his version of a heel is a lot more like a Japanese heel or something, where he doesn't normally do that much cheating. He's just sort of an asshole the
Yeah.
entire time. Like he's just a
Yeah,
smarmy like dick, and it makes him very unique.
I feel
Mhm.
like, especially in lucha, like because low blows and like heel, like eye rakes and ripping the mask is super very common for Rudos. But Blue Panther, even when he is playing heel, no, he usually keeps it like to a very professional, clean standard. Like the ring is sacred.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like he just really doesn't like you. He'll keep playing the sport, but he just wishes you would die.
Which is
Yeah.
pretty sweet. I like that. So
I
that's
also want to point out that at one point, Blue Panther goes for an armbar from guard, which is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and it's almost immediately countered.
I don't know anything about MMA, so is that
is
Well,
that a
'cause it
sweet leg bar?
a
well,
sweet leg bar, a sweet leg arm bar?
well,
Yeah.
they're doing like the head scissors thing where you push the head back or whatever, and
Oh,
he grabs an armbar and then transitions it to like if you're gonna do a basic like a just a basic straight armbar, um, and like cross arm breaker or whatever if this is pro wrestling, and it's just really funny watching Blue Panther do it.
Mhm.
he's the goat.
He's pretty
Does
sweet
anyone
at it.
have any notes for the first fall that you
I
want to get through before
do.
we get to the second one? All
The
right.
finish of the first fall, sorry,
Oh yeah,
is
no, go ahead.
I wrote down in a spoiler a little bit of foreshadowing.
Oh
Atlantis does
my.
the Brian 2K comeback, the
Yeah.
Brian Danielson in
Where he does the backflip spot off the
off
corner.
the top, and then he immediately gets into the Scorpion Death Drop, and it's like, Panther, you should have been taking notes, but
Right?
yeah, he gets the Scorpion Death Drop in immediately. Panther, or not immediately, but pretty quickly he taps out. And I didn't even know Atlantis was doing. Maybe I've shown my ignorance, but like I would have thought he would have used the La Atlantita, but no, he does the Scorpion Death Drop a lot, Death Lock a lot in this match.
Is the La Atlantita the backbreaker?
It's the spinning torture rack thing.
Torture
Yeah.
rack.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, okay.
The
I do
spinning
have
thing.
I do have a note.
Hmm?
2 notes actually. The first one is that Blue Panther hits one of the, like a super mean power slam in the first
Mm.
fall where it's like very sheer, shockingly. And then the second one is that Atlantis has a very good backbreaker.
Atlantis
Um,
does. So
it
does his kid.
it feels like that the back I've grown to very much like the backbreaker. It's a sweet move. I for the longest time I was just like, well, this isn't a suplex. This isn't sweet at all. But backbreakers are sweet, and I like them.
I love Roderick Strong.
But,
No, but yeah, the
no,
world like backbreaker. It's like kind of his thing. He does it like all the time. It's like his signature move, I guess. But yeah, he
yeah,
always makes it look super clean and super fast.
yeah. Now on to the second fall. I like monkey flips, and they do a monkey flip right off the spot.
Yes,
It-
I fucking love monkey flips as
They're
well.
so sweet.
yeah, they trade monkey flips. It's like Panther or no, Atlantis does a monkey flip on Panther, and then Panther tries to do a monkey flip on Atlantis, but Atlantis lands on his feet, and it's like, dude,
That's pretty sweet.
that's pretty awesome.
And
And
then
it's
there's a
great
knee to
because
the face.
a monkey flip is. I just want to give it appreciation as a move. It's almost never sold as anything like impactful. But a monkey flip requires like some of the most like coordination and timing of just about any move in there with having to, fucking bounce off a guy's knees. Like if you fuck that up, you're
Ow.
you're really
Yeah.
fucked. Yeah.
You saw, sorry, I don't mean to mention modern day wrestling in this, but Commander did one to Darby Allin pretty
Mhm.
recently that like
yeah.
Darby Allin almost like broke his fucking leg on.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Yeah, monkey flip, great move.
Yeah, Darby Allin looks like he's about to break everything all at once
Always.
in every match. Made out of rubber, that boy.
Don't know how he's still alive.
Blue Panther hits a crazy power bomb in the second fall.
Is that the... Oh yeah.
Yeah. Me and Squill were talking about this during our watching of this. Blue Panther like lifts apparently.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell because he is just like he just picks these dudes up. He's kind of like Haas-esque
I always
for a
attributed
dude
that
who does a bunch of submissions.
to just being like dad strength. There's like, yeah, he can probably just like destroy somebody's head with his bare hand, but like he just
Dude's
looks
had
like
dad strength since he was in the 90s.
Well, and it's interesting to me is that like Hechicero, he's just a fucking unit, and he's also a submission guy. But Panther does not look nearly as intimidating as Hechicero does. But
No.
yeah, he's just freakishly strong.
It's so random too. It's just like, oh, look at Grandpa. Oh fuck, Grandpa just picked up Bryan Danielson. Oh fuck. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, especially like super old Panther. Like we see like pretty much, I don't know what year he began, but like this is pretty much towards the beginning, and we see towards the maybe end, maybe we still have another 20 years of Panther of his career, and his strength is just not gone like at all.
Well, it's the last thing you lose. Speed goes first, but
Grandpa. He
Long after he loses the memories of his like his marriage and his children, he still can pick up Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. He's a freak like that. He's a genetic freak and he's not normal.
But I really enjoy how short the second fall is. I think it adds a really fun structure to this.
Yeah.
Because normally the normal lucha thing is you do the first two really fast, and then the third fall is like the whole thing. However, we've done like half the match in the first fall, a little bit in the second, and then the other half in the third fall.
Yeah.
I really like the way that this one's structured. Like a lot of the time you'll see like the babyface shine just like be all the first fall is, and then once the second starts you get into the heat. But no, like the babyface shine was like the first fall wasn't even just shine. It was like a good back and forth, a good half of the match. And then like Atlantis takes almost the entirety of the second fall until Panther just gets that backbreaker in, and then once that's in, the fall is over, and like Atlantis is Blue Panther's just on top going into the third.
Yeah. On a note about the second fall, Dragon Rana for countered out of a power bomb is pretty sweet. I like that. There's a great figure 4 sequence. Squill, if you want to touch on that a little more in more detail, but there's a lot of like butt scooting out of the the figure 4, which shrimping during your figure 4 is killing the business, and we need you to stop. Ric Flair is going to sue your ass.
I find it amusing once again the idea of applying a shoot mentality to these like silly sort of submissions of like the sense of urgency and also sort of like how not pretty some of it is what I like about how Blue Panther goes about this. Because he will do the pretty lucha grappling where you get all the crazy reversals, but sometimes he'll take it really gritty, and there is just a lot of like desperate scooting is the only way I can describe it.
That's a good way of putting it.
Of the grappling, which is like is very true
It's
of
true.
like of real grappling. Of like sometimes you end up you're sort of in an arm bar, but it's only sort of locked in, and you have to sort of like awkwardly just try to like just like sort of shake yourself loose. And Panther has clearly done, at least I would assume, some amateur wrestling to some extent, but he seems to understand that there's a time to make it pretty and there's a time to make it ugly. And he can do both in a mix, which is why I think if you wanted to get someone who likes either like, ROH mat work epics or like shoot style, if you wanted to get them into lucha grappling, I think he'd be a good starting off point because there's some more familiarity there.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a good gateway drug to lucha. Panther is
Absolutely. And this, after the sequences of the figure four and a little bit of sharpshooter moment, this is what I like to call the walk just starts typing in all caps section, when Atlantis drop kicks Blue Panther off the top rope to the ground and then immediately suicide dives like a freak.
Yeah, I love that.
I
was just like, why was Panther going to the top rope? That doesn't matter.
I don't know, but he was.
Yeah, I can't really think of what Panther would be trying. He's not exactly a high flyer.
Blue Panther's signature 450 splash.
Yeah, he was about to do a double moonsault.
That'd be sweet.
But then, he caught him in the ass with a dropkick. I love that spot.
It's nuts, and it does not look nice at all. And then, like, once they get back into the ring, Blue Panther hits a sweet German suplex. And then an electric chair drop happens.
Yeah, it was like, well, what I thought was happening was I thought Atlantis was going for like the victory roll where he jumps onto his shoulders to do the forward pin, but then he just stuffed him. Like he just fell down. It's like, my back fucking hurts. I'm gonna like stuff you with it.
It's fucking.
It ruled. And then immediately after, he stuffs him with a powerbomb. Like, he goes for a Rana, and he's just nope, fuck you.
Nope, I'm powerbombing your ass. And then a superplex happens, and then the kick out. And I'm checking my pulse, so I'm just like, wow, this match really picked up all of a sudden. Not to say that the match was boring, but holy shit.
Yeah,
the sequence just pops.
They really
out of nowhere.
They kept the opening like 2 acts very grounded, very not always slow, but the median tone was slow. Yeah. And then when it got to the third act of the match, the third fall, and like starting with that dropkick, it just like started and bombs, and it really like, ooh, it felt,
and it just doesn't stop. And then to quote my notes, Blue Panther shit cans Atlantis to the outside and then does a suicide dive. We'll see later. That's his signature move, apparently. And then a Panther backpack, and then a counter pinfall for Atlantis, and he rolls him up off the top, which I've never seen finish a match. And yeah, the match is over. It's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, into it. Yeah,
yeah,
I love that.
It's pretty sweet. I'm a big fan.
I love pinning combinations, and Lucha does it really well.
Yeah, Lucha is the best at pinning. Like maybe Joshi is up there, but Lucha, in my opinion, is the best.
I think. Yeah, I agree. I think Lucha just does. There's like more options. I don't know how to put it. Like they have more to it.
It's like genuinely ways that I could have never thought of it's getting unique. People's shoulders to the ground.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because in some like alien way, just it's evolved differently from like Japanese/American wrestling, where a lot of the idea is we kind of forget about the idea that it is to pin their shoulders to the match, because almost every like American and then most Japanese matches, it's almost like you're trying to knock them out and then pin them for 3 seconds.
Which I can't lie is pretty based.
Is pretty based.
It is cool.
I cannot lie. I do like me a lot of bombs, and while I very much appreciate the pinning combination, it's smart. It feels more sporty. God damn it! I just like some dudes knocking each other out.
And you do get that in Lucha. I feel like its structure is kind of similar to like the Kings Road style, just like not as long, and the grappling feels like more important. But like the way that it builds up to that final sequence, where it's just like this Hurricane Rana can like finish this match. This electric chair could finish it. Like everything feels like, ooh, this could be it.
But you're saying Misawa's rest holds are important?
What are you talking about? The chicken wing?
Don't get me started on
The goat.
Misawa.
That's the goat. What are you talking about?
He's the 4th best filler.
He is like the Zack Sabre Jr. of mat wrestling or the 4th filler. I mean, like, not to tip my hand or anything, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, the orienting napalm death from Mitsuharu Misawa in that match. Ooh.
Mwah, mwah.
Do you have any closing thoughts on this first match?
Match good. I think this is like the I guess this would be my third. Wait a minute, what match? Third favorite, maybe.
This is probably my number 2. I really like this match. Just like more. I just wasn't expecting it to be as good as it got at the end.
Mm-hmm.
No, for sure.
It starts like an exhibition because it's
true.
It's not heated for the most part. Like Panther isn't being overtly like heelish or a face here. He's just sort of being himself. That's sort of like just his resting state. And so there's not in the beginning, there isn't the passion you sometimes get out of like a big lucha epic. So it feels more like an exhibition. Like it's sort of friendly in the beginning, but then it gets there in the third act.
It really, like him pushing his back into the ring post and stuff like that, and just like, and Atlantis is just like such a good like seller, like such a sympathetic like baby face or Technico, if you will. I just loved it. Yeah,
I very much enjoyed this match. Now, we were talking about how friendly and sporty this match was.
Oh.
So I've decided to completely shift gears. Let's talk about Blue Panther versus Villano 5. This is a Puestas match.
Cowboy Panther.
Cowboy Panther. That was my first note. I love Blue Panther's little hat and poncho, and it's very nice to see that consistently the dancing girls at CMLL are still bored.
They've never been interested in it. None of them are wrestling fans, and I love it.
It's pretty funny. It's very funny. It reminds me of Private Party's entrance at this year's Full Gear, where it is just like 8 very bored women dancing to shots. and they are doing CMLL girl impressions. They don't even know what they're doing. It is awesome. I love it.
I did not watch Private Party's match.
Well, it's good.
I also Full Gear. Okay.
Yeah, Full Gear. Anyways,
I just also want to give credit before we start to the Villano lineage, because I love basically all of the Villano matches I've seen from. I've seen mostly 3, 4, and 5. Of course, 3 is the one I'm most familiar with. But Villano 5 and spoiler maybe Villano 4 give good accounts of themselves in this one.
I love
we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But I love they're maybe my favorite wrestling family in Lucha. Because I just think they're a fun heel group, you know? It's like a bunch of putties.
I do enjoy the range, like the sliding scale, where like 3 is like he's like pretty normal looking, and then Cuatro and Quinto are like just absolute goons. Like they're just big motherfuckers.
They're gooning.
These fat schlubby bastards.
I love
it. I love Villano 5's moveset, which is just a majority of a leg drop, and you can actually hear him every time he does it just go, oh fuck.
But
even to this day,
Villano 5 is like firmly like Ishii Evil Uno shaped. Like that's
how
having that.
That's a great way of putting it. He absolutely does have the power body of Evil Uno.
But player Uno is evil.
I was gonna say,
not for sure.
that's true. Even
Go ahead.
like to this day, though, like the Villanos, like El Hijo del Villano Tercero and Villano Tercero Jr. in CMML, the CMLL, they both rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Villano 5 comes out with the yellow drip. Absolutely ballin'. I assume that's where his leg drop power comes from the Hulkster dude.
Yeah.
And
It's
he comes
canonical.
out with the victim of the death-defying move, the 619. Or I guess death-causing move, the 619. That is Paraguayo.
Paraguayo, yeah. You got it. You got it there.
El Hijo del Paraguayo.
El Hijo.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Paraguayo.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Rest in peace to El Hijo del Paraguayo.
R.I.P. I meant no disrespect when I say that the 619 is one of the most deadly moves in wrestling.
On technicality, yeah.
On a well, yeah, it's true. It's damn true. And then the Corona mat. Let's fucking go. This is how you know a match is some real shit when the Corona mat is out.
Yeah.
It was really the prime bottle.
The prime bottle of its day.
Lucha. And then the bell rings and Panther immediately starts whooping some ass.
He does not like him.
No, this is a very mean match.
And I like that this is him as a Technico, but he's like even angrier to when we saw him kind of being a heel. Like he's just a dick no matter what alignment he has.
It kind of feels less like he's being a dick and more like, you know, at the beginning of Kenta Kobashi versus Stan Hansen, where Kobashi, I think it's Kobashi, who immediately just starts beating the shit out of Stan Hansen.
100%. And it's
like you just gotta jump him.
Yeah, you have to jump the dude. I mean, once you're going up against a Villano, anything could happen.
There's 2 billion of them and they're all evil.
They're all gonna pour out of that locker room. It's a majority Villano area. It's like Team Taz. There's like 12 dudes back there that if you fuck with Taz, you're getting fucked up. They're gonna hit you with the Kata Hajime. 8 people, Kata Hajime. All at once. It's like that one. I can't say that on air. Anyways,
okay.
I'm gonna talk about that later.
I'll bring it. It's probably not that bad, but it's like how like that one school shooter technique where you get a bunch of kindergartners to run up and start hugging onto the school shooter and it kills them through heat. Like bumblebees trying to kill a hornet.
That's what your plan is?
Yeah. I should work in school systems. Anyways, a quick roll-up attempt immediately with some sweet chops.
He does a lot of chops and they're all good. He also tunes up the band. I don't know if you noticed.
He does tune up the band crazy, and everybody's
Jim
like,
Duggan.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of luchadors in suits, Mystico is looking like a cold motherfucker out there with the suit.
He's got the vest.
Crazy.
He's got the vest and the white mat. Ooh, and Paraguayo's also dripped out all black.
Got the boot ass. They ate one.
Is that what the kids are saying?
Is
that what the kids are saying? Okay.
They chew and spat.
Well, you're younger than me.
I know. I also just to point out that
I just assume that Squill's the oldest guy in the room at all times.
That Mystico specifically, he has like the popped collar too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's looking like it looks like Tony Montana.
Paraguayo also has that going on. It's crazy.
Both
dudes are absolutely going crazy.
It's very early 2000s, and I love it.
It's badass.
And so, almost immediately after that initial roll-up, they trade a few bumps, and then we go to the outside, and this is where the match. This is where the match becomes gross.
Wait,
immediately.
The suicide dive.
I have to mention a couple things before we get to that. It's great. Villano 5 is one of the best rope work.
Yeah.
With his signature leg drop to rope. I've never seen it done like that, and it's the best a leg drop has ever looked. There's a nasty suplex onto the concrete. And we could get to that. The outside crazy spot.
This match thrives on the outside.
I love how this venue does not have any barricades.
Padding.
It's literally Well, no padding,
Yeah.
but also no barricades. It's literally like taped off, and the audience is just right there.
It's all concrete. It says there's concrete as far as the eye can see in this little arena. It's messed
just-
up.
Yeah,
And-
it's rough.
Well, I guess we should describe it. So, Volano 5 is on the outside, and
Mhm.
he's just doing his thing. And then Blue Panther bounces off the rope. He does like a taunt first. He bounces
Yeah.
off the ropes. He shoots himself out for a suicide dive. Panther it's a good suicide dive until
Mhm.
Volano starts falling backwards and hits the back of his head on a chair.
I'm watching it on replay now. It's just over and over again.
They show it off 6 times.
As they should.
Because Volano 5 is currently bleeding out the back of his head. He's dying and he's still working.
He's ruining his Pikachu fit.
Oh my god, it is. Well, no, actually, it's just that he's putting the Pikachu cheeks on the back of his head. Golly, it is.
Yeah, the way he slumps over is particularly upsetting.
Mhm.
It's really distressing looking at it. And Mystico's super pumped about it too. He's like, yeah, number one. Whilst like everybody's going to check on Viernes 5, and it's like, oh my god, is he okay? Mystico's just like pumping up. He's like, yeah, fucking kill him.
It's so good. I think that if I'd like watched the build up, I would probably be in Mystico shoes.
100%. I wish I watched more of the build up to this match.
I was just like, holy shit. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
So like the Pero like currently bleeding out.
Currently,
Pero
on the floor.
unlocks secret tech, which is pouring water into the wound. I don't know how that's helping, but he does it a lot.
It cleans it, brother. Just straight
Apparently.
water.
Just
And
some fresh
so-
water.
The end of the first fall is what we call stalling, where there's a guy who's actively bleeding out of his head, and it ends by DQ.
Because yeah. Well, like
It's so
first,
good.
I can tell they're stalling because like Panther hits like the what is it called, the 110th Street Slam, the spine buster thing, and
Yeah.
like Biano immediately is just like, my fucking head, dude, I'm dying, and then you see like Aguayo like tripping Panther up, you know, chiming to the audience, just like trying to like, we need time.
By the way, the recovery from Villano is impressive. Once he gets back into the ring, he like starts hitting taunts, and like he fucking like chucks. I think he chucks his water bottle into the crowd.
Does. Speaking of when the DQ, I think we had already mentioned, but he does steal his mask.
Mhm.
And he starts taunting, like doing the towel spin, Stuka style.
Yeah.
And then just tosses it into the crowd. It's so good.
I would describe this match is like a miracle in improvisation.
It
It
is a
is.
miracle in improvisation. The way that I describe the feeling of this match is like when something goes clearly wrong in like an actual like I guess this is an actual sporting event, and something did go wrong. This is just like maybe the best way of like doing it. You know, it's like the best
100%.
like sports accident of all time.
I also love how like Viano pulls Panther's mask off and then tries to go for a roll up, and the ref is just like, "What are you doing, man? You know I'm not gonna count that." But yeah, I'm like, I have it paused here. Like he taunts to the crowd and he's doing stuff with the mask, and you can see like the back of his mask is just there's a big old red spot, and it's like,
Just a big ass
It's gross.
pepperoni.
oh, it's like visually like disgusting. It looks like he got
Big-ass
shot.
pepperoni.
And so
Healthcare
there's not a whole lot to say about the second fall either, because it's sort of we get back-to-back disqualifications, keeping it 1-1, and
It's
then
so good.
Villano just leaves.
There's like, I wonder why he could be doing this.
So
This
Villano
is not a
5
Viano
just
trope at
waddles
all.
his way
They don't
out
do this.
back. No.
Waddle.
Villano just waddles his way back with a towel over his head because he's so ashamed that he got his mask taken. And hang on.
After
Wait
he
a
took Panther's mask and
Yeah.
then beat him with it.
Hey, wait a minute. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, Who?
Who's this guy waddling out? That doesn't look like
Interesting.
Volano 5.
Well, hey. He has the
A
Viano mask.
guy who is not Volano 4. A guy who is
Allegedly.
a guy who is
Allegedly.
allegedly not Volano 4
Allegedly.
returns.
And I love the detail too. Like after he leaves, and like both Mystico and Panther are chasing up the match. El Hijo del Paraguayo is just standing there like, no, you
Don't
can't
do it. No.
You can't. Nothing is
No.
happening back there. Nothing is happening back there. You just simply can't come back here.
Yeah, don't. And it's like what's great about it is I would have to assume this was improv, that switching out Villanos, but like it works because of the lore of who these heels are.
It is a
It
Viano
makes the
trope,
ending
though.
so much fun.
Haven't
Yeah.
they? I feel like Vianos, this might have been the first time, but this is a thing that the Vianos have done, switch each other out, because there's so many goddamn Vianos.
Yeah,
There's just
It's like
like,
16 or something, right?
there's like a bunch of them running around today.
I
Yeah,
also
really.
like that Villano Quattro is also clearly like more jacked than Villano 5.
Upper
Volano
body.
5 Mega.
Well, the reason I don't think it's improv is he has the Viano 5 outfit already on. Like, I don't think
There is like
They-
a good 2 minutes.
that is true, and it would be a fast wardrobe change. I think
Also, he's
It
wearing
could
the
be.
same mask.
it is the
The-
same
the-
mask.
The red bloody spot. So he would have had
His-
to
yeah.
switch masks. So that's why I think it might have been
It
improv.
could have been.
There's like a lot of
gross.
crowd showing off. There was no white people moments though, thankfully.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of like showing off the crowd. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. Oh, he's having fun with that marinara sandwich.
It definitely
yeah.
felt like stalling.
It was.
By the
there
way,
was-
I was gonna say within the first minute of allegedly Villano Quattro coming out,
that's a lot of fun.
Just say a
uh,
Viano.
he pounces. He basically he hits the same suicide dive on him immediately.
He does. He does. He's running through Vianos. He's running through all of them. He's like, I'm gonna kill all of you bastards.
And then, okay, so I guess I have to cover this. He does another dive, and then these dudes are like Scud missiles. They just shoot out with these suicide dives, and then he's in the crowd. He lands on these people, and then Panther runs back into the ring and does it again. He's
I love,
using architect style. He's doing suicide dives.
Viano-
Villano
five-
Quattro. Villano
Four-
Quattro has 5. Definitely
One of
5.
them.
Definitely the same guy.
Oh, the same dude, brother.
He has the wherewithal to twist with the suicide dive to avoid head trauma, which is something I thought was neat on the first one.
On the
Nobody
first
typed
one,
105 that.
Yes, and then he goes straight into the crowd.
he falls Jesus style into the
Yeah.
arms of the crowd, and as he's laying there, Walk said, Panther just I'm gonna do that again.
Which
But
as I've
wait!
Lands
I've
on
learned-
some Panther lands on some woman in the front row completely.
poor lady.
What
She
I've
looks
learned-
like she's having a good time.
What I've learned, what we've learned about watching a bunch of Arena Mexico matches is that there's an assumed risk if you're in the front row.
There's a lot of
is.
crowd work.
Like
And by
the
crowd work,
MVP
I mean landing in the crowd.
Working in the crowd.
Yes.
The MVP of this, of course, by the way, is the guy from our Stuka episode who Atlantis Jr. landed on him and he didn't spill his beer. That guy was a
Yeah.
fucking hero.
Honestly, king.
Probably that one child they landed on. I think they land on a child eventually.
A
Yep.
child holding beer.
Yeah, he's been
Interesting.
training his whole life. He spilled his little Coke.
Oh no.
That poor baby. Anyways,
So
sad.
it's after those suicide dives and then some recovery that we finally get into the ring and they actually have a match.
Sorry, we are
Boo.
missing one important one.
Oh, my apologies.
but wait,
Blue
there's
Panther-
more.
Viano is laying on the ground, not standing up. Panther
Mm.
does the slingshot onto a grounded Viano, one of the Vianos, we don't know, brother. And
Yeah.
he Aja Kong boots up. So Panther just lands on his feet, and it's just literally slingshots to the out, house show dives,
Mhm.
and completely takes all foot to the chest and sternum, and it's just it's gnarly, dude.
That's how you lose all your wind. It's crazy.
That is. And then we go back to the ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now we're actually, for the first time in like 15 minutes in, we're actually having a match.
Mm,
Allegedly. With one of the Villanos.
With one of the Villanos.
it's Villano 5. Quit being Marks.
And like as soon as they get in the ring, Villano just starts spamming superplexes.
It's crazy how many superplexes are in one moment. And then, like, weirdly enough, I think the crowd starts chanting Villano.
Because
Yeah.
he's awesome!
Yeah.
Because, like, he has gotten his ass whooped for, like, 20 minutes.
Allegedly.
Also,
Allegedly.
I would assume it would be harder to tell in the moment if they switched out Villanos.
Yeah.
So in there, especially because they can see the spot of blood on the back of the head, and if you're like, farther away, it'd be harder to tell the difference. So for
Yeah.
all you know, he exited, maybe got like stitched up real quick or something, and then came back to like complete the match. So that
Stitches
is
in
like
4 minutes is
honorable.
crazy.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It is a
But-
very babyface thing to do from the
And
perspective
Panther
of the crowd.
works with it.
He
right?
does.
Like,
Yeah,
he starts
Villano-
being a bigger dick.
L Villain is the face here.
Yeah.
He's the good guy.
It's so funny.
Villain
I love
number
it.
5.
Villain number 5. Allegedly villain number 5.
And,
But no,
and,
yeah.
like,
Oh, can we talk about, by the way, about Blue Panther's special move, the Fujiwara armbar?
Yeah, he just does that at random. I did in fact pop crazy for the Fuji.
La Mystica, well, without the spinning part.
Yeah.
That's the Fujiwara armbar, brother. That's
Well,
the salt of the earth, dude.
Mystica watching, like, yeah. That's the salt of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why
what?
that made me so mad.
But wait, I got one more thing before that Fujiwara armbar. Okay, so there's this moment that Villano does where he like is going for a senton
Yeah.
off the top rope, but like he waddles over to Blue Panther and he like picks up his arm and drops it like
He does!
in a submission just to check if he's actually out, and he goes on top of the rope, does the senton. Blue Panther rolls out of the way. It's so funny. It's such a good little moment.
It's like in theory, Viano's like, hey, do you remember to move out of the way, right? But like, yeah, he literally goes to the rope, or second rope, comes back down, checks his arm, goes back to the second rope, G's up for it like Undertaker cutthroat style, and then misses.
It's so good. I love that moment so
And
much.
Panther gets a near fall off of it.
Yeah. And then the Fujiwara gets locked in, and everybody is rooting for Villano currently in the arena. And then I think it's like a roll up that happens, and Villano wins.
He does. It's like
And-
a Ooh, I don't even know how I describe that.
It's also
It is-
crazy because they cut to a lady and like a bunch of like they cut to a lady in the crowd holding like a Villano Tercero action figure. They cut to like these
Oh,
old
shout out
men.
to the three dude, that whole
Yeah,
family
yeah.
that was
The
wearing
family of
Villano
Villanos.
masks.
There's somebody, yeah, with like holding a Viano mask and a purple shirt and a Viano t-shirt over like literally a
Yeah.
suit shirt, and he's doing the raising the roof taunt, and he's like fucking
Doing the
pyro.
taunt, that's the goat.
I love the Puesta pyro too. It's just like all like
Oh,
three
yeah.
sides, and it's just like it's beautiful.
It's like
so
you might
good.
accidentally set someone on fire.
Absolutely.
I just love, yeah. L Villain number 5 wins the match, and everybody in here is stoked.
Absolutely.
Like, and they're like acting like they won the war. Dude, there's a lady in the crowd who picks up like one of like a fan's Blue Panther mask and then just throws it. And she's like an old lady too. She's like, "Fuck out of here with this bullshit. Fuck
And
Panther."
it's-
Punk ass Blue Panther, get the fuck out.
So interesting because they wouldn't be cheering for him. In my assumption is that they wouldn't be
No.
cheering for him if that whole quote maybe malfunction, probably malfunction happened.
Exploding to
I
the back of the
think-
head. You know I plan that spot every time.
I don't think they planned for his head to explode. I think they planned the switch out, but as a heel thing. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
since his head exploded, everybody just decided to cheer him. There's like, oh my god, of course we're gonna root for this guy. He Blue
The
Panther
fact that
killed
his
him.
head just exploded.
His head
the
just
beauty of
exploded.
it, the
It looks
beauty
like he
of
was shot.
versus like Western wrestling. or like Western, like American wrestling, is that no one's ever gonna go do a shoot interview and tell us what actually happened. So
not.
everyone can just imagine what they think happened there.
K5, brother. We will never know this. I think everyone involved, 2 or 3 people, or no, Panther's the only one that's still with us, I think. No, 4 is with us.
Mystico?
Viano 5 passed away recently.
Oh no.
Yeah.
To go to the leg drop.
He is the go. I do have Undertaker style leg drop written in my notes.
You're going to hell.
I know. Unfortunately.
You
no.
didn't know.
But yeah, I think
Villano 4 still with us, yeah.
Viano 4 is still with us. Okay. But no, yeah, like
But he wasn't in the match.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna take this to their grave. Like we will never know who that was, even though I have a pretty good idea. His body, unless he changed his body pretty quickly.
Unless he just like got crazy traps before coming back out.
He did the
That'd be sweet. He got a pump. That's big Papa Pump. He's your hookup. How wanted to hear that.
He wanted them back and lifted women before he came back out.
It's nice to see that other people have watched his training, his
workout videos,
his workout video, which is not any instructions. It's just him lifting people.
Yeah, do not follow that.
I cannot wait for the Scott Steiner episode.
Oh my god, please!
I have
so many matches. Sorry,
this match is like it's probably my second favorite of the matches we watched.
It's my favorite,
and
dude.
I love it because of its imperfections. I love how fucked up it is.
It's like watching Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson 2, but like it's less of a mess somehow. But it like tells a story. It feels like maybe by accident, but it rocks so hard.
It reminds me almost of like it's like Foley Undertaker Hell in a Cell sort of.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Nothing went right in either of these matches.
Yeah.
No. The first time I watched this, I guess I wasn't feeling it, but no, like as we were talking about it, I was like, I've had the match on in the background, and it's just like this rules,
so
dude. I think this is my favorite one.
Does not just get your blood pumping? Like
it 100%. Like going over it again and watching it and watching all these like spots and stuff. It's just like this is definitely my favorite. Actually, going back on it,
that's real as fuck though.
The
I
head
get Daddy
trauma,
Magicked up with this match. I'm pumped. This is
and
awesome.
There's just a euphoric feeling that Apuesta matches have, where it's like, even if you don't know either guy involved, like that, you understand the stakes and it feels important. And when somebody wins, it's just like, it's the most tragic and fantastic thing in the world.
And I love how Villano ? He picks up Blue because it was originally probably meant to be a heel move, what they did, but now it's a face move. But he picks up Blue Panther in his shoulders after the match, and it's the most like wholesome and beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It is. I love it, and it's just like and I feel like Blue Panther is like the wrestler who's lost his mask that has put it back on the most. Like he has another match.
Maybe Rey Mysterio.
Oh, you know what? Well,
I mean,
you know what? I mean, you got me there.
He's had that thing for a while now.
Well, the difference is Blue Panther has been working in Mexico, where like you actually have to go through like the Lucha Commission.
Yeah,
to get
like
dispensation to wear your mask.
They have to go through like an actual like sports and boxing like athletic commission to get his mask back on. And he's like in 2008 or 9, I want to say, he has another match with Villano 5 where he's wearing the mask. It's like,
what?
and then obviously,
hang on,
wait
a minute.
I only know this because I saw it on Twitter earlier, and I was like, wait a second, this is not the Villano 5 Panther match we watched, but Panther's wearing a mask.
That doesn't make no sense.
And then obviously there's another match later where he's wearing the mask again.
But first.
But
wait, there's more. The mask, he gets unmasked, and golly, that's all I had to say.
Hey.
That's all I got. It's just golly.
Hey, hold on.
No disrespect to the goat, but
golly, he looks
bro.
He looks like a very, very nice dad.
He looks very nice.
He looks like he's a very kind man. And I think Squill, you've said something like this before, but like my favorite trope in like Lucha Libre, this isn't super the case with Blue Panther, but like when like a Rudo loses their mask and they just like look like the kindest old grandpa.
Yeah.
But their match
Grandpa.
graphics is just like El Hijo del Baby Kicker 5, and it's just like
Yeah.
the nicest looking smile you've ever seen.
And then you just start stabbing a dude mid-match.
Yeah, it's just such Lucha never change.
I was gonna say my favorite like on the show earlier for the Stuka Jr. episode, it's Stuka Jr. still looks like a beast when you take his mask off, but like he's just crying, and Stuka, the OG Stuka, is telling him that it's okay, and he still loves him. Like it's similar in that trope
So nice.
of like even the Rudos.
It's like I love this, like, and like keep in mind this is like early 2000s, and this trope has existed like since the 80s and 90s. But just like this idea that there's something so inherently masculine about professional wrestling and lucha libre, but like it's every time they lose their mask, it's like this cry, like they're always crying. It's like the most tragic moment in their life, and it's always just like inherently everyone accepts it. It's just like
The
you know
only
what,
time
man?
men are allowed to cry in Mexico.
is when they
It's true.
lose their mask, and it's like yeah,
Okay.
it's. I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like it's a very interesting aspect of like the culture for like those two things to be so intertwined.
And speaking of, me and Squill have developed a kind of spectrum, if you will. It's where, in order
Oh.
for you to be a technico and a masked wrestler, you either have to be super handsome, like absurdly handsome, or just butt ugly.
Yeah.
You just
It'd be either way, it distract from the wrestling is the idea. Or if
Yeah.
you're too handsome or too ugly, it would take you out of it.
Yep.
you're either like a dad or like the most beautiful man that ever existed.
And like
And I-
Brunos are always just like off that like exact too handsome or too ugly. Like they're
Mhm.
just like that bit away. Like there's just a little something wrong. Like unmasked La Sombra, he's handsome.
Beautiful man.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like he's not at that peak though.
Well, he's aged like fine wine. Now
He
is.
looks
Oh,
great. He's
dude.
way more handsome than
La
he was
Sombra
then.
today is a beautiful looking man.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I feel like
That's
ugly is a strong word. They're just old men. Like, and
Well,
I
mean, I'm not using it in a negative sense.
no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying
100%.
that they're butt ugly.
I feel like
Yeah,
you can
Blue
usually tell.
Panther's a little. I mean,
Like-
Blue Panther looks like a man who's wrestled for 80 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he would not make it in America without a mask. Like
No.
nobody, like just visually, everybody's like, you are literally just an uncle. What are you doing here, Grandpa?
He kind of looks like
Grandpa.
Mexican Volcan.
Mexican Volcan.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
thicker. He's like a thick Volcan.
Well, I was
It's
just
kind
thinking
of
about
like
he-
if you
it's just his
hydrated
fa-
Volcan.
Their face looks very similar.
They do have a similar and a haircut here.
Yeah.
Here in this
True.
match, at least.
Oh, you mean balding?
Yeah, basically. Their haircut is thin.
Because they
It's
both
like
they
that-
both have that thing where it looks like they have a huge forehead because their hairline's receding.
I forget what this
They do.
boxer's name is, but he looks exactly like that dude who would like to make weight would smoke like 10 packs a day, and was like had no knockout ability, but was just great at dodging punches. I forget his name for the life of me, but he looks exactly like Blue Panther. Just this chain smoking clown.
the chain smoking clown.
I'm not pointing at Blue Panther though. But speaking, I think he doesn't have the mask on in this match. The next match we have lined up is Blue Panther versus El Hijo del Santo.
He does have the
Yeah,
mask on.
Santito. Who, Angel? Is Santito your favorite wrestler ever? I think you said he was
Not
up
my.
there.
He's my favorite luchador ever.
Okay,
He's probably my top 5 favorite wrestlers ever.
he's
He
one
is-
of the. I was gonna say he's one of the most perfect wrestlers ever. I think he may be the only. I have a qualification I call a perfect wrestler, which means that like not just are they the like jack of all trades, they're the master of all trades. And
Mhm.
there's a very few people who are that. Like out of America, it's maybe just like Bryan Danielson. But
In Japan, it's like Jushin Thunder Liger. It's
Yeah.
like, you know.
Mhm.
yeah, a few guys like that. but he might be the perfect luchador.
Mhm.
Bryan Danielson is actually a super strong comparison because he has like something. Actually, he's never been heel, like but like he has the way that he wrestles. At least there's just like so. He's just an all rounder. Like he's not strictly a Yave's guy. He's not strictly a typical high flying guy. He just does everything, and he does everything very, very, very well.
I thought
'cause I was
Santino
gonna
has
say-
been heel. He's
Santino,
been
he
heel
has.
before.
I think he has, but never like
for a prolonged period of time.
for.
Yeah, it was
for,
just like a short patch, but he
Yeah.
has he can work heel.
And
there's
There's
what
just
I
just
mean,
something, yeah, inherently
just-
heroic about
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
What-
Well, I mean, he is the son of the saint.
yeah.
That's true.
I mean, like,
L
Yeah.
Saints Jr.
And what I am
Thank
excited
you,
for
Harry.
someday is I know like I think they sent like a 3rd generation Santo to the Noah dojo a few years ago. So we'll
Oh,
see
yeah.
what becomes of that.
Santito as a kid. Santito, did he just retire or is he still going? Or is he
I think he's
retiring
technically
soon?
still going.
He's retiring soon, I heard, but like what a fucking
I'll
what a
believe it when I
crazy-
see it.
Yeah.
I'll believe a
Mhm.
luchador retires once they're in a coffin.
Put a plastic bag over his head and he's dead.
Yeah,
I mean,
Negro
that's when I believe
Casas,
that somebody is retired.
Negro Casas definitely is not even thinking about it either.
No.
It's just like, and he's been wrestling since like early 80s or maybe
Well, they're
even
just going to do it Fujiwara style, where Fujiwara is just going to keep like wrestling less and less until we just haven't heard from him from a year, and we find out he's been eaten by a bear.
There's no other way. Old age is not taking Yoshihiro Fujiwara.
Yeah.
Yoshiaki Fujiwara.
So this match is an exhibition in Japan.
Corkin.
And thank you very much for throwing us out this match. This is a rarity. This is the sole time I wasn't familiar with the match going into the time, so it's fun to have a guest recommend it. We might do that more often with guests.
Yeah.
But I love the sense of exhibition here. Like they're just like, we're just gonna get our shit in for this crowd, and you're talking about how they're working to this crowd differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so in like if you look at the other Panther matches we've seen so far, there's a very distinct language to what they're like wrestling like. There's like the pace, like everything they're doing. But then once we get into Corkin, the way they're pace, the way they pace things, the way it just is so clearly like interesting to me how they're completely adapting what they do. Like they're not like just trying to have the match they would have in Arena Mexico in front of this audience. They know this audience. They both wrestled in Japan before, and they're like adapting what they do so well to this Corkin crowd.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I really liked the atmosphere. It was very different than like an Arena Mexico show. Not to follow the stereotype of it being quieter, but like it had a very different feel to it.
Oh, you
from
mean
what I
there
remember.
weren't screaming uncles with like with beers the
There
entire
weren't-
time?
There weren't six
Yes.
people in a Viano mask. Just like
They weren't all
cheering
hitting
for blood.
there was no raising the roof.
They
this
were
whole
not
match.
doing the Ultimo Guerrero taunt.
And quite frankly, that's what's wrong with Japan. Not enough raising the roof taunts.
That's what I've been saying.
I'm gonna be going to I'm going to see a shoot style match. I'm doing the raise the roof taunt in the middle of that. I'm going crazy.
Dude, honestly,
Also, I'll say importantly, by the way, not a 2 out of 3 falls match.
single fall. I think the only one
What?
that we watched.
Well, our
No,
final
yeah,
match.
the final one has only
It's
one
three
fall.
falls. Oh, is the
Yeah,
oh, it
one
is
fall.
one fall. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, submission match.
They get
That's right,
confused
that's
though,
right.
so that
The
might be
referee-
why.
That's
we'll
why
get
I was
there.
confused. The referee didn't even know, or no,
We'll
the
get
referee
there.
know. The wrestlers didn't know.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But no, yeah,
Um,
single fall. So that's like obviously a big factor in the change of pacing too. And it
I
is sorry.
Do you know if Santito has like a amateur wrestling background?
I don't know if there's a lot of knowledge about him pre-mask. Pre being Santito.
Well, he came out of the womb with a mask.
That is
Yeah.
true. That's
I
just
remember.
El Santo's face. He just inherited it.
That's a really funny. That's really good. I like that.
It's wild, by the way. I believe there's a total of like 10 siblings, and only one of them went into wrestling of Santo's kids.
That's the opposite of the Viano family.
Yeah.
Yes,
All-
actually.
All 7 children went into wrestling.
Although
Or
I
whatever.
get it, but if you're talking about not, if you like, that's tough shoes to fill, and
Yeah.
arguably, I'll say Santito did it.
Yeah.
El Santo is maybe the most famous wrestler, maybe of all time, definitely in Mexico.
Yeah.
And El Hijo del Santo filled his shoes. Like,
Yeah.
and that's like an insane thing to do.
That is nuts. Good for him.
But no, as far as I can tell, Jorge Rodriguez, not to dead name him, did not amateur wrestle.
Okay, so he had to have picked it up from someone, but because his and it's possibly also because they're in Japan, so they're gonna do shoot ear stuff.
Mhm.
But the opening going of the match, he has some damn nice wrestling. He does like a single
does.
leg multiple times throughout the match. It looks really good.
Yeah, they do a bunch of like fun. Fun feels like a diminutive word. They do a bunch of like interesting like techniques and stuff here. Like the first thing they do is like a full Nelson, and I'm like, that's interesting. But then like Panther, it's not a Romero special, but he has him like on his feet, like stretch style. You know what I mean? And he just kind of like pulls his. It's like really interesting stuff. But yeah, his single legs and stuff is very
And
of
then
that
single
ilk.
leg into Blue Panther counters it and gets like a body scissors like backpack position.
Yeah, that's
which
what I
is
was
neat.
talking about.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and he gets it into like a little surfboard stretch thing, and then Santito counters that into a pin, and then they immediately go for it. He steals Blue Panther's signature move.
Yeah.
They immediately do a suicide dive.
Also,
yeah.
the counter into a pin, by the way, I can only think about, like, if, you hadn't done it 100 times, how nerve-wracking that is to not accidentally, like, land on his face. Because the coordination that requires.
I don't know how they do it. Like, you usually see it off of the, what is that? The bow and arrow. But, like, the way that Santito was facing here, he had to, like with a bow and arrow, you just fall one way. He had to like maneuver his body like 90 degrees to get into that position too. So it's like, and from higher up, yeah, it's very. I don't know how they probably because they're very well trained, but like every time I think they're gonna just kill each other.
And then wait for it. What do we get? It's a tope.
Tope into the chairs.
Golly!
Yeah. Thankfully, he lands on what I think he hits Blue Panther's bicep. So there's some beat there to cover his fall.
Yeah, whenever I see these guys do suicide dives, I'm like, oh, that's why they're called suicide dives.
Yeah.
Because they always, like, it's disgusting. And, like, especially...
shit.
Especially
it's Mexican wrestlers and Darby Allin. Those
Mexican
are the ones who do a
wrestlers and Darby
suicide dive.
The only one, and Akira Tozawa. The one who shot that guy out. But yeah, especially, like, Santito, every dive he does feels like it's head first. Yeah. It's just like directly, this is not like a suicide dive. I'm going to headbutt you and you just happen to be on the outside.
That's what the best ones are, though. It's like a flying headbutt.
It is. He also does that. I don't know if he does it in this match, but one of my favorite Santito moves is the top rope headbutt to the back of your head.
Yeah.
It's just like disgusting. Santito's the best, dude.
Once they get back in the ring, by the way, I love elbow drop by Blue Panther.
He counters the drop down too, and you never see that. It's just like drop down and just like, yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna land on you.
But once they get back up though, that's where Santito starts doing crazy stuff. They're like in a lockup, and then he climbs up him like a fucking spider.
Yeah,
going for the armbar.
Oh, yeah, he does the climb up thing into armbar position, then gets into the Santito head scissors thing. And dude, it's such a good Santito trope because it's just like problem solution wrestling that is just like, okay, you're in this, and now you have to spend like 5 minutes just working out how to get out of it.
And just the smoothness that he does it, just spinning on his head, bridging on his neck.
Like it's the easiest thing in the world for him.
It probably does help the fact that he's, especially for like, you assume luchadors normally get like all stocky and bulky later in their life, but he's like very lean, which probably ironically helps him with stuff like this because he's not bridging that as much weight onto his neck.
Yeah. 2001 Santito, I think he bulks up, just because of age later, but like here he's slim and trim, dude.
It's kind of crazy imagining like a wide Santito. I'm trying putting Blue Panther's body onto.
They just trade
those
masks.
Yeah,
El Hijo del Villano 4 style.
I keep on like
he's bulkier, but it's not to where you'd expect it.
Yeah, I mean, like in my brain, it's like it's an insane image because I'm just like the Santo mask on the pants. It just looks wrong. I don't know how to put it, but it looks wrong.
So, like, for this match, I don't know how much I have to say, like, spot to spot, other than just the general trend of what's really interesting about this is, like, they do, dare I say, like, shootier stuff, like arm bars.
Yeah.
Goes for a triangle choke at one point. But the story of the match to me is the really fucked up, like, Lucha Rampage bomb thing that
Yes!
that Blue Panther, whenever he wants to like whenever he tries to go for an armbar, just picks him up and decides that he's gonna try to kill him.
Why not?
Literally, yeah.
He's so strong with what we were saying earlier.
It's scary. Yeah, so yeah, he Santito gets into shoot armbar position for Panther, and then transition it into an arm scissors. And Panther just he starts by just trying to bridge and stuff, but yeah, he eventually rampage bomb, not even rampage bomb, because rampage bomb, you just you lift him up and then you can just drop him down to the ground. He lifts him up and then carries him there for an extend, and then they both fall outside of the ring. Then he lifts them up again and carries them onto the apron.
Yeah.
And then he does it again into the ring. Lifts him up 3 times. And it's just it's disgusting how strong this dude is. I mean, he's built like a fridge, but it's ooh, it's scary.
He has an Ishii-esque body.
Yeah.
It is, but I think he's just so strong, dude.
It's a freak.
It's scary.
And so that's interesting, is that it's the rare time where textually speaking, it is suggesting that Blue Panther is worse on the mat. Is something really interesting, unique about these. Is that from what I can understand with what this match is telling us, it's El Hijo del Santo is a better mat technician than Blue Panther.
Yeah, in text, I guess.
And Blue Panther has to use the power to get out of it.
It's pretty sweet.
It is sweet. I think it's just when you're so pure of heart, you can't be taken out on the mat.
That's on God. Only true heroes do mat wrestling.
And true villains.
And I guess
that's and true villanos.
Ah.
Hey.
Any more notes on this?
It's an exhibition, so it's hard to there's not high drama necessarily. I just really, the back and forth is great. I love the power of Blue Panther being accentuated. Because it almost looks like when because Walk and I watched the Josh Burnett's Bloodsport 12 a few weeks ago. It almost reminds me of when you have a guy who's not a shooter in a Bloodsport and they just power out of a move.
Yeah.
And you get some fucked
Great
up
trope.
bump. And it's interesting because he's powering out of lucha moves by just throwing him around.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I did like that part.
And then just the finish is deeply cathartic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the sorry, I'm looking at my notes. You want to go into it, Squill?
The finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the first you get the counter they're going for before where Santito is trying to do the armbar thing. Then Blue Panther reverses it by then pulling on his arm, pulling him up, lifting him up. He does like a air squat. Just freakishly strong, like pulling him back. Like just like you're trying to crank my arm.
Deadlifts
Actually,
him.
I'm cranking your arm.
Yeah.
It's just sick. I don't know if it makes sense, but it rules.
Pretty sweet.
The aura sold it.
100%.
And then
And
we
then-
get the fucking flying headbutt. Yeah.
Flying,
Yeah.
standing headbutt. It's and then right into the caballo, and it's just like, man,
Yeah.
I love it. Panther's
Good.
Panther's the best. Santito's the best. Both are the
Yeah.
best.
Both of them. Both top 5 luchadors.
Definitely, easily top 5. Maybe I wouldn't fucking hate most wrestling commentary.
He's from Gomez Palacio, Durango, Mexico.
Yeah, my Durango. You know that. Edge
According to
song?
his Wikipedia page, he also runs a chiropractic clinic.
That is perfect. I love that.
You know fucking luchadors need chiropractic.
He's just putting it in holds. Like, yeah, this is chiropractor.
Do you know that chiropractic was started by a guy who thought that Ghost taught him how to treat back pain?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
I've heard crazier stuff.
Did you hear that, Walk?
Bullshit.
Blue Panther owns a chiropractic practice.
There's no way that's true.
He does. He does.
That's
It's
awesome.
beautiful. It's like original Villano's a dentist.
He must actually take care of his
Wow.
body. Like that
Or
must be
no.
what makes him Blue Panther, I mean.
Yeah, Villano 3 became a dentist, sorry. But yeah, he does. He's in crazy shape to do the stuff he does.
Absolutely.
All right, welcome back. We're going to the final match, the most recent, taking place this
Woo.
year. And
Maybe.
isn't it
Yeah.
fucked up that one of these guys is retired and it's not the 4,000-year-old luchador?
Isn't
One
that
of these
messed
guys
up?
retired, and it's not who you think it is.
Yeah.
It's not 64-year-old Blue Panther.
No, of course it's the ripe young. How old is Bryan Danielson? Hang on a minute.
42, 43 would be my guess.
But your bet's in now, folks. We are sponsored by DraftKings.
43.
41.
Is my,
Put your money in now. 41.
I didn't even look that up. I
43.
guessed. Oh,
43. I was
oh,
No.
look at that.
dang.
Yeah. As opposed to 600-year-old Blue Panther who just rolled out of his cave.
Yeah.
His
So
Panther cave.
This, of course, came over the summer. You had the awesome Blackpool Combat Club versus Luchador feud.
That match
Uh,
rocks.
Good
Where
match.
they
Good
just declared
show.
war
The
on
entire.
all of Mexico.
If you haven't seen that show where the BCC goes against, I don't even remember who it was. It was a combination, and it wasn't even the BCC. Matt Seidel was there, but
Yeah,
it, like the
For
entire
whatever
show,
reason.
Yeah, why not?
He's honorary BCC brother. But no, the entire show is good. There's a sick like tag match with Dorada and Rocky Romero. It's that entire
Dude,
show
Rocky
rules.
goes crazy in Mexico.
He
Rocky-
does. He's like, goddamn.
I did not know Rocky Romero was like the fantastic wrestler that he is until I saw him in CMLL.
Oh, by the way, the team is Blue Panther, Mystico, Ultimo Guerrero, and Volador Jr.
Killers, I mean, I'm here and there on Volador, but like the rest of them, just
I think it's
killers
funny that
roll.
Ultimo Guerrero is hanging out with Tecticos.
I mean, I've
The
seen
man
him
who
work
innovated the
Tectico.
dick kick.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like Los Guerreros Laguneros sometimes. I think are they just called they're called Los Guerreros Laguneros currently. They go
Yeah.
back and forth between calling themselves that or just Los Guerreros. But they're like my favorite heel unit. Maybe
So
in the
good.
world aside from like the Blackpool Combat Club.
And I don't
just-
watch enough CMLL these days, but like
Mhm.
every time it's like them. Like they had a sick match with Dorada recently where they had I'm sure you've seen the spot online where Dorada, two of them are on the inside of the ring and one is on the floor, and Dorada leaping clothesline like Bryan Danielson style, but double both of them over the ropes. And then, like, as he's falling over the top rope, lands in a Frankensteiner onto the one that's on the outside.
Golly.
Yeah, probably describing it doesn't do it justice. If you haven't
No,
seen it,
that's an
like,
insane collection.
And it's
of-
just great because
Yeah.
Gran Guerrero is very much the third guy there, but But Stuka Jr. and Ultimo Guerrero, like their chemistry is crazy.
And honestly, Gran Guerrero might. No, Stuka's there, but like Gran Guerrero, he might be third. He's
No, he's not bad. He's just
yeah.
he's not the other two. I really hope Stuka Jr. will go down as a legend because he's like 50 and he's only just now hit his stride.
He's great.
That is funny.
We have a whole episode about how great he is.
Yeah,
that is true. No, Stuka Jr. even to this day is really great.
But on to the match.
The match.
Bryan
Danielson. Danielson.
Brian Lloyd.
Wait. We'll get there.
Okay.
First off, I have to note Bryan Danielson's great Cody gear. Shout out to the guy that he choked out with wires.
I have to know. Did you guys notice? It was probably hard to tell because the audio mixing for their entrances is notoriously horrible. Did you note the theme song that Bryan Danielson came down to?
Did he come out to? I thought he came. Did he come out to the final countdown?
No. He came out to Ride of the Valkyries, but the WWE version of Ride of the Valkyries.
I didn't notice
and you can audibly tell because like the one he has now is like a hip hop remix of it, like the beat, and the one they play, it's not even the original. It is very clearly the WWE one, and it's just like
notice that. That's
it's
so
like
funny.
It's like they Googled Bryan Danielson theme song on YouTube and played the first one that came up.
Did Tony just not send you the link?
I don't think he probably did. I don't think they looked.
This is the general thing of I love how lo-fi in the literal term of low fidelity that Mexican wrestling is. There is a strange like unity of laziness and like a lot of effort on here where they're just like they just Googled like some guy in the back. It just has the computer that's hooked up to the arena.
They probably didn't even mean to do it on purpose. They just accidentally put Daniel before Bryan.
Yeah, they still thought he was Daniel Bryan here.
They couldn't find anything for Bryan Lloyd Danielson.
Bryan Lloyd Danielson. And it's like, bro, you're just giving out the full Christian name like that? That's
government.
Crazy.
Full government is crazy.
He lives at this zip code.
There's like Squill Fansington. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to out you out there.
Golly, we're just doing that on mic.
Sorry about that. Shh.
Yeah.
Now you guys know his government.
My very shoot name of Squilliam E. Fancy Son.
Squilliam E. Fansington. And
we're just handing out the middle initial too.
Dude, and walking the King's Road, I believe.
What?
That's your Twitter name at least.
Oh, that's my @ I mean, my full titled name is Just Taking, and I cannot stress this enough. Walk.
Just taking walk?
Just taking a walk.
We've gone on too much of a tangent.
We have gone on too much of a tangent. We need to stop doing this.
Damn you, Angel.
He's in a mask. Look at him. He's in a cowboy hat. He's looking magnificent. It's Blue Panther.
I love it. I love the theme song too. There's a specific name for this type of music in Mexico. I forgot it because I don't listen to it, but like it always brings up memories of like my stepdad like playing pool at 5 a.m. in our basement, just blasting this music like for everyone to hear, and it's just like, oh, this is nice.
That's a pretty sweet way to remember that music.
Yeah, and then Panther just comes out with the cowboy hat and just like expecting him to have a corona on him. It's just Panther's.
And then you get an ugly Panther jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
Does he take off his mask?
No, it's in the graphic.
Oh, oh, hey now.
He's in the crossed arm ton. He looks like a DreamWorks character. Anyways,
have you seen Panther bearded out with a beard?
Yeah, because it's in the graphic.
Oh, does he have a beard now? No, in this match he's shaved. But I think
I mean in the graphic they have.
He would look. By the way, he would look badass to have the mask on, and then you can see like a thick beard through the mask, Excalibur style.
It's an awesome look.
Yeah, luchadors don't do that. I don't know why.
I know that would be awesome. Yeah. It'd be an awesome Bruto look.
You know what? Probably friction.
Yeah,
it's not good on your face. But like, yeah, he has the poncho here too. He's wearing a Blue Panther mask, hat, and holding another Blue Panther mask in his hand.
He's aggressively Mexican against like the whitest white boy they could find for him.
His middle name is Lloyd.
Walker.
Yeah.
His name is Lloyd, Squill. You can't
Yeah.
get whiter than that.
He's from Washington.
Not even DC.
No. Anyways, the referee is a ginormous fridge man. It is insane.
I love this referee.
CMLL referees are fucking huge.
I don't know what they feed them.
He's like built so much stronger than most wrestlers. Like he is taller than most of them. He has a bigger chest than most of them.
Oh yeah, he's taller than both guys in this match.
100%.
Well, part of that's cheating because Danielson is like 5'5" or something. But
he's still like Colt Cabana.
He's 6 foot according to WWE, brother.
Yeah,
that's
one of the because like I've met Bryan Danielson, received a hug from Bryan Danielson, and like been right next to him on a Dynamite. That 6 foot is crazy.
It's insane that I've also met Bryan Danielson. He was taller than me, but I was 5. So
yeah, I would assume that's how that works.
I still have the conspiracy theory that I'm taller than Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega can't be that. Okay, enough of the tangents.
Well, I mean,
this
is a podcast.
Yeah, Danielson works the fuck out of a headlock to begin this, and this is a submission match, as we noted.
He's such a great shithead heel.
Despite the fact that both guys go for pins multiple times, this is a submission match. He works the fuck out of a headlock. Danielson, like Walk said, he's maybe one of the best like dicks in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. He's a legendary asshole.
Blue Panther has shaved hair from his entire body aside from his forearms. That's an interesting thing there. My theory, talk about friction earlier, is so he can cinch up the locks better.
Did you hear
a crazy theory?
There was like
I like that a lot.
No, that's like an actual bit. I remember it was like Matt Stryker was like calling a Kenny Omega match once, and he was like, "Yeah, he purposely shaves his forearms a couple days in advance so the stubble grows in. So when he has the headlocks and it's rubbing against his face and it hurts."
I mean, that's actually a pretty good call.
That's
kind of cool.
Should do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that whenever. Oh yeah.
So this match is charming more than it is. Like, it is a good match, but it's not a masterpiece because there is a 60-year-old man here. But what's fun is what a mark Danielson is for Blue Panther. And Blue Panther is not at all a mark for Bryan Danielson.
No,
not even a little bit.
Blue Panther has not seen a single Bryan Danielson match.
This is the time of Bryan Danielson's life and a Friday for Blue Panther.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is Bryan Danielson famously lays in his kicks to everybody. This is the only time where I've ever seen him pull his kicks.
That's nuts.
Like, for Blue Panther, it is Viernes. For Danielson, it is Super Viernes.
Woo! Oh, nice. We have a title.
Yeah, there you go. Viernes, yeah. There we go.
But yeah. Let's see here. I love how Panther tries to make Bryan uncomfortable in the ab stretch by digging his elbow into his leg. I super like that. It's a great ab stretch sequence.
Danielson has a crazy physique, by the way. Somehow, despite the fact that his body was falling apart apparently towards the second half of this year, he looks like maybe the best physical shape he's been in his entire career.
He almost has abs.
Yeah, he almost has the body that he had when he was bald.
Yeah,
and that's saying something because his bald era was crazy.
Nobody has ever had a life quite like bald Bryan.
By the way, the fact that we just let this white guy do cornrows, can we talk about that?
Yeah, I'm assuming
it's kind of crazy, but
he's not an MMA man. He does not. he has no experience or record or training. He's just out here dreaded up, and it's like,
well, he's not dreaded.
I guess.
They're pretty long.
Okay with it.
They're pretty. He's like cornrows into tied up.
Yeah,
style.
But he's cool as fuck, so it's chill though.
It's so cool. Bryan Danielson is so cool. We let a white guy do dreads, guys.
And so as we go into the early going, it's Danielson barking out. He knows he's going to be the Rudo, so he's putting him in holds. And Blue Panther is not animated whatsoever. He gives no fucks. Like Danielson is going like, yeah, like with every hold he puts him in, and like you said, it is regular Viernes.
He's just,
Un
he
Viernes
just-
normal for Blue Panther.
Literally just waving his finger like without a care in the world, just like, no, I do not quit. While Bryan Danielson's screaming at the top of his lungs.
We do not fucks with this dude. We do not care.
It's even better because the crowd is going crazy. And
They
Panther is doing
they have
nothing.
not had the opportunity to do the yes taunt their whole life, and then you can tell they are
They are
guessing every
pumped
time.
I was like, whenever Danielson tries to put him in like a full Nelson or a stretch, like from behind, Panther does a gay little shimmy to get out of it, and it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I love it.
You're right.
Panther is for the queers.
Yep.
He's one of us. I mean, he's wearing drag, so like,
Yeah.
he's dressed up as a cat. No, it's like crazy, and like we could go like through bit by bit, but like the way that they're exchanging holds is like honestly insane. The level of thought and detail put into like every little
But
thing.
also, it looks improvisational. Like it's just
100%.
two guys going for it.
Absolutely.
It's like he like when he has him in the head scissors and he like splits his legs apart. It's just like, sorry, it's just.
So
And then I've said this before. It probably wouldn't work, but I think the idea of like shoot grappling versus lucha grappling is a fun match idea. And it definitely wouldn't work in Mexico. But Danielson sort of goes. He touches on that there about like he does like the cross arm bar with the head scissors though, and that allows allows Blue Panther to do the crazy headstand.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down in my notes. 64-year-old headstand is
It's
just
great.
all caps, and it's insane.
And then
It
he sort of
is-
has to attack the full guard of Danielson,
yeah,
which is interesting. And of course,
Also-
he just pins his knees to the mat, which is his
Mhm.
version of passing guard, which is funny.
That's how you
And then
do
wait for it, Danielson does the Mystico head scissors,
He does
He does.
or not Mystico,
Santito.
Sorry, Santino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or Tiger Mask, if you will.
yeah.
Both of them. But yeah, it's like, and he does the head scissors on the ground and then into double bicep.
Yep.
He's the best in the world.
that's my fucking goat right there.
That's
I mean,
goat.
like, they don't
Our
make
goat.
moves like this no more.
And then
Dude is
after-
doing the flex taunt, it's like, yeah.
And then after that, I don't know if you have this in your notes walk, but then they transition into a Greco-Roman knuckle lock.
Of course I know. Of course I talk about the test of
Test of
strength, the
strength.
goddamn goat, and they do a good job here.
I do believe, unironically, that Blue Panther is stronger.
Yes,
Look
I
at
think-
no,
it.
absolutely. He is.
2024 Blue Panther is still stronger than vegan 2024 Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson's
no
taking
disrespect
crazy hikes,
to
but he's not doing the bicep curls.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
tried to
Panther-
bicep on him, but Panther's like, get out of here with that shit.
Yeah, then he picks him. He picks him up just like it's nothing. He's running around with as fast as his little legs can take him.
Dude,
With
yeah,
his backpack pants, What is that move called? I just call it the.
it's the cop
backpack-
killer. It's the cop
Yeah.
killer hold.
It's like a backpack party, though. It's so
I
fun.
think-
He's having a great time every time he does it, and it doesn't finish matches, from what I can tell.
I think it's technically a reverse gory special. If
Yeah,
we get technical about it,
Yeah, it is a gore. Yeah.
it's a inverted or reversed upside down. It's an upside
long
down.
way.
It's the gory special the long way. No,
Yeah.
they do the test of strength and into the hand holding that they keep. They do that into the cop killer position, and Panther's just like running around on him.
Yeah.
And then Brian
Once again, as fast as
counter
his
out.
little legs can take him.
And then
Yeah,
Brian
and-
counters that with a rear naked,
Yeah, well, yeah, he
and then to a full Nelson.
he sits up into electric chair position.
It looks
with
awesome.
Crazy core
Mhm.
strength, and then rear nakeds him. And Panther is holding him up the entire time. He's like, it's a solid like 3 minutes that Panther has Danielson in the air.
It's
If,
super good.
If Blue Panther just went for the one-winged angel right there, it'd be 5 stars.
Dude.
And then he would have won.
And then he
Yeah.
would have won because
But no, actually, he wouldn't have because it's not a submission.
That's true.
So funny.
Dude, one-winged angel submission. Dude, somebody should do that. The one-winged angel into like a stump puller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Gray
know,
area.
Texting Bryan Danielson, I have ideas for you.
And then he starts doing the stretch plum. I'm doing that in my BJJ class. Anyways,
Stretch plum.
so
It wouldn't be, by the way, it wouldn't be a Blue Panther match if something fucked up didn't happen outside the ring.
but
That's
before we get there, I want to note
Okay.
something about how Blue Panther sells submissions. So
really well.
the way that I describe it, and to quote my notes here, I love how Blue Panther sells submissions. I don't know how to put it, but when you see a steam engine and Thomas the Tank Engine, like his eyes spin around and move side to side, that's how he sells.
That is how he sells.
I don't know what to call that, but he sells like a tank engine.
That, and he looks like one too.
Yeah.
Also, when Danielson, when they have a chop battle, it looks like when hitting like the way like you look at you hit Danielson's chest, it makes it all red because he's a very pale boy. But like
White
when
boy!
Danielson chops Blue Panther, it looks like it would hurt his hand more than it hurt Blue Panther. That guy's just so solid.
100%. And then like Panther gets up to chop him, and it's just like he does not care about you, buddy boy.
We do not care.
Also, like before we get into the outside bit, there's this moment where Panther has like him in the, I don't even know how to describe it. He hooks his Danielson's arms under his legs into like he's about to do a Boston Crab, but like holding his arm style, and Danielson sits up like core strength style, and then just starts yesing with his cock in Panther's face.
Yeah.
It's sick.
The dong style.
The king of dongs.
But yeah, there's a sweet suicide dive moment.
It'd be funny if it was 64-year-old Panther.
No, but it is
Unfortunately,
Brian Lloyd
not.
Danielson who's doing this sweet suicide dive, and then he does a flex taunt
Yeah,
because that's the goat right there.
it's funny
Heel
because
Brian is best Brian. Like the dude is just so good at being an asshole.
100%, and it's even like it's hard to like in your head you would think it's hard to say that because his most favorite moment ever is as a babyface, but no, him being heel is just so fucking good. Like I don't think there's anybody better. I don't think there's a better asshole in the world than Bryan Danielson.
Mhm.
And
He has a whole series about just being such a dickhead, and it's him versus Nigel McGuinness.
Where he literally bullies a heel so hard that the crowd goes, you know what, this was too much, you're actually the heel now. Like, we were behind you, but you've literally bullied them too much.
In the early 2000s. These dudes love bullies.
It's insane.
It is nuts, and they're turning him in, like, Philadelphia. Golly, I can't think of a meaner people than 2000s Philadelphians.
The Philadelphians in 2000 cheering a British man?
Golly.
Never.
That's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he's the GOAT.
I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think they eventually get back into the ring, and Panther tries to go for a pinfall.
Yes, he does.
But the ref is just looking him dead in the eyes and just going, no.
I don't think either of them were paying attention to the intro. They're like, this is a submission match.
Which is funny because Danielson asked for a submission match.
And then he's like, wait, you guys made this a submission match? And Danielson also goes for a pin too.
He does. He does a Busaiku knee on the outside, and then Brian throws him back into the ring. And then, like, the ref just looks at him again and is just like, are you fucking serious?
Doing? It's just like, no. I think the ref actually almost starts counting, and then he's like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
No, that's not what this is about.
I mean, like, it has to be a spot, right? That had to be on purpose.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it was. But
yeah, for Danielson, I believe it. It's kind of like a vaguely heelish thing to do, being like, what are you guys' rules here, Grandpa? But also, like, the suplex to the outside that Danielson takes is pretty gnarly.
He just takes the Dynamite Kid suplex
like,
that ended his career.
All on his knees. I guess Danielson's never had knee problems. It's all neck, spine,
which is
brain.
Good for him. Good for him.
The only part of his body that's still working.
Yeah, they pulled out a tire pump to get his brain working again. That's pretty sweet.
They replaced his brain with Shibata's.
Yeah, all it got taken out.
Yeah.
Well, what if the two guys got their heads swapped and we'd never know?
Dude, where was Bryan Danielson in 2018? Not wrestling, or was that 2017? He all definitely
It's
was
2017.
I don't
No,
know.
he was wrestling.
Was he wrestling
Yeah.
in 2017?
He had to have been, or at least he was on the Total Divas show.
That's true. We might
With
have
John
footage.
Cena being a robot, but
Dude,
we're on a tangent.
Bryan Danielson with Shibata's brain in John Cena's house on Total
Oh
Divas.
hell no! That if it was Shibata, he would just start kicking shit and breaking things. He would not handle. He would eat one of the cameras.
So shoot headbutting Cena and just like fuck your.
Somehow he'd get a personality.
Oh no!
Anyways, but we're not done yet with the Dynamite Kid suplex because then a senton happens.
A cannonball senton.
He just cannonball. It's like yahoo!
64 years old.
Yeah, like a freak. And then there's a Romero special on the inside. Hell yeah!
It's yeah.
The match really turns up at this point. And then Blue Panther takes a buckle shot from a Busaiku knee.
Ooh,
Crazy.
yeah.
It is nuts. And then this is gonna be a lot of me just yelling out moves.
Go for
but
it.
like they're all sweet. Tarantula suplex.
Yeah!
The fact he was like this 43-year-old man is doing a like beautiful tarantula suplex and then doing yes taunt out of it. And then he does a vintage Balt Bryan flying headbutt.
Yep.
And then he goes for a Nagata lock on the ground. Oh,
he does.
Jesus. And then Bryan just starts whooping this poor old man's ass. And then Panther comes back perfectly. And then the figure four gets locked in. And it's just super hype at this point. And most of my notes just devolve from like calling out moves to just calling Panther cool and then Bryan a jackass.
And also,
both are true.
Once again, Bryan Danielson in this is a mark, and that's what makes it the best. Is that he is marking out for Blue Panther, and Blue Panther is not giving him the time of day.
No,
aside from just the nature of like he's being respectful and he's being a good opponent, but no, he does not really give a fuck.
He does not care. And yeah, it's just like so sick. There's a like fucking moment after that where like Panther's going for the like El Laganero, which is the like hold up armbar thing you mentioned earlier in the Santito match. And then Danielson, it's just like a disgusting struggle, like where they're on the ground and Danielson gets it into the label lock.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross, dude. And it's just like, watch his limbs, they're old.
Nice, good.
No, he has chiropractic. He's fine.
Yeah,
that's true.
He
stretches.
He pops his bones back into place with ghosts.
Every bone he dislocates every match.
That's awesome. Speaking of arm bars, near the end of this match, Panther locks in his signature Fujiwara armbar. Apparently, he just does that. But he gets to the rope and he taps out actually, but his leg is like into the ropes.
Yep, this is a callback. I mean, not a call, probably not this specifically, but he did this. MJF did this in their Iron Man match at Revolution 2023 in the overtime period. And so it's kind of funny that now he's on the other side of that.
Blue Panther, big MJF guy.
Always was big salt of the earth user.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. It reminds me of there was a match with Danielson and McGuinness where Danielson like goes under the ring and comes back around the other side and just rolls up McGuinness. And it's just like, oh, you bitch. This is like a 15-minute awesome match. And he does. Was it a small package here?
I think so, yeah.
And he's Mr. Small Package, so makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is small.
He has the smallest package, allegedly, according to him.
Golly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bryan manages to tap out poor Blue Panther. And I note here, damn you, Bryan Danielson. I hope you get killed by Jon Moxley. Which happens.
It does. Oh
I saw it
no.
live
Yeah, it's
in person.
Do you want to get killed by John Moxley about this?
Not for real.
It's yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just such a bitch, and he like has a shit-eating smile. Like he freaking taps out to the Fujiwara. Panther
But-
turns around, sneaks up behind him too, and does like the wrestles him to the ground 2K style. It's yeah.
He taps
What a
out to the salt
bitch.
of the earth. Thank you very much.
He taps
Oh,
out
yeah,
to the
my bad.
how dare I?
The
Yeah.
goat.
Um,
Shouts out to MJF.
yeah.
And
He's
then
had 2 good matches this year.
I think he puts on always good matches, but whatever. So the match wraps up, and they're all being respectful. Bryan Danielson's a good boy.
They say they're
And-
going to do this again. Will they?
No, yeah.
Hmm?
I don't know.
Maybe they have, and we just don't know.
Behind closed doors, Lesnar Inoki style.
Yeah.
But no,
Oh,
it's
Antonio Inoki.
Antonio Inoki's the greatest.
That's
Not
the
as good as
tangent.
Himself. Yeah, I could go.
It's very cute that it's like Blue Panther's like, yeah, okay, it's like he's meeting like a small child fan or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. You're a good kid. Stay in school. All right.
Homework.
Can I go now?
He treats
Can I go
like
now?
Ryan is like, yeah, this
These
guy's
are
a really
apples.
big fan of you. Like, he won like WrestleMania. It's just like, yeah, the same way he would like treat a guy, same way that he would treat somebody telling him that they won a spelling bee or something. It's just like, oh yeah, you did, good job.
This is a Make-A-Wish match.
Make a wish for Brian
Yeah.
before he and he literally dies after.
Yeah, and then he goes bald.
And then he goes, he did shave. I saw that. It's
But he's like, yeah, kid, you're doing good. All
you're
right.
doing good.
Do your
Keep it
homework
up.
and eat your vitamins.
Stay
Can I?
prayers.
Yeah. Can I go home now? Okay.
Thank God.
Give me a Corona, please.
Mark.
He should have just sent one of his Panther putties, aka his sons, at Danielson.
This is actually LEO Del Blue Panther the entire time.
Post-match
Yeah.
beatdown. This is how he heel turns.
Dude, that would be sick. I wish, yeah, they have, and it's nice, the respect thing that they do.
It is.
It's like, we should wrestle again. But, like, imagine if, like, after Brian was such a shit, like, just a shitter the entire match, he goes on the mic, Brian's like, oh, you know what? I was being a shitter this entire time. I actually like you. And Panther's just like, yeah. Die, PC!
And then he puts him in the Panther backpack and then runs away with
Oh,
Brian
they-
on his back.
Cop kills him all the way out of Arena, Mexico.
And then Loki comes out and then they do the Cop Killer double foot stomp.
Honestly,
That's how I would have booked it.
Blue Panther and Loki, greatest
That's
tag
a
team in the
goat
world.
team. That's
Who
a goat
who
team
could
right
stop them? 2024 Loki?
That is a
Mhm.
Bati-Bati book club tag team because they've both been featured on this podcast.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And
I could beat up Loki. It's known.
Loki, the open challenge is still out. You can do
Yeah.
this.
Once
is-
you
You. I know who you're listening, Loki.
we
You're
know.
a big fan. You're a big mark for Bati-Bati book club. And you can fight my friend about it at
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Fight him at WrestleMania about it. He's gonna
Mhm.
put you in the cop killer submission.
I think the most unrealistic part about this whole conversation is that Loki will ever be at WrestleMania.
I think the most
Yeah.
that's true. He will never be at WrestleMania, but I also don't think he uses the internet. So
No. Look at his Twitter. He's posting anti-vax stuff.
Still? That's
yeah.
out of season, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 5 or 6 like bad things removed.
Yeah, but whatever.
It's sort of like, can you have CTE if you started already as Loki?
He
Yeah.
was born with CTE.
Bro
He
is
was
just the
born in the
dumbest man.
darkness, raised by it. He didn't see the not CTE ever.
Mm-mm. We are going to
But-
get him in CTECW, though.
That would be
Yep.
sick.
That's a shout out to all the snake pitters out there.
Winner's the first one to leave Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure, honor, and a great old time to have Angel on the podcast.
Mhm.
Do you want to shout out your socials if you're feeling it?
I'm just at Grappleholics, grappleholics.blsky.com or whatever.
Absolutely.
just been posting a bunch of Aja Khan clips.
Yep.
Goated.
So many of them.
That's what social media is for.
Love
I was
them.
gonna say I can't imagine someone listens to the podcast and don't know who Angel is at this point.
I could.
Well, no one. Only like I have 1,000 and count like 1,200 subscribers, but not that many people actually listen to the podcast.
Yeah, and if
Only
you don't
the
watch this
hardcore
podcast,
players.
you're going to hell.
It is going
Yeah.
to be weird because I'm most likely going to be listening to this at work. Whenever this comes out, it's going to be weird hearing my own voice for such a prolonged period of time.
Yeah. But thank you, man, for coming on. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. I love talking
uh,
about Gato Azul.
Gato Azul.
Could be
Yeah.
La Pantera Azul.
Hey,
Hey,
But
don't bring
he's got a little gato on his mask.
don't bring language into this. Yeah.
don't bring language into my wrestling.
See, amigo.
And with that, we are out.